Hey everyone, this is Steve Weintraub with Collider, and I'm here in the Collider studio, sponsored by Saratoga Spring Water. Huge thank you to Saratoga because it costs a lot of money to be here, and I appreciate our sponsors. And I'm here with the...
Saratoga water's good.
It actually is. It's the glass bottle. The glass bottle is key. You know?
Blue.
Yeah.
Drinking an avatar of the century.
Thank you. Listen, I'm actually legitimately, I'm so looking forward to seeing your movie here at Sundance, Magazine Dreams. And listen, no one, including myself, has seen the movie yet. And people watching this interview most likely will not have seen the movie. So how have you actually been describing the film to like friends and family?
Well, the way we've been describing it is it's a movie about an amateur bodybuilder with dreams of bodybuilding superstardom. And we follow his trajectory from someone whose entire life is centered around becoming a superstar in the bodybuilding sport and the bodybuilding world, and then some of the obstacles he faces along the way.
Jonathan? You have been doing some exceptional work recently and been offered some really great scripts. What was it about this project that said, oh, I need to do this?
I read the script and immediately thought there's a lot of secrets here, you know. I try to do work that illuminates and kind of brings things to the forefront. And the story of Killian Maddox in the world of Magazine Dreams is a world populated with people who have been rebuked in many ways. That really pulled me. That idea that there's a whole group of folks that have been put aside by society and how we cope with that. And I aligned with that in some ways, and felt very seen in that. As the viewers will see, Killian deals with that push away, that invisibility issue on multiple accounts, in many different ways. So yeah, I mean. Yeah, it's wicked. Yeah, so that's what got me. You know, that's what got me.
Haley, I am a big fan of your work, and I am curious. Similar question. What was it about this? What can you say about your character, and what was it about this story and script that said, I want to do this?
Well, first of all, I read the script and I really connected with it. I had a conversation with Elijah that really excited me, his vision for the film. And of course, I was really excited to work for the potential to work with Jonathan, because he's incredible. I've seen the film. I've been really lucky. I was lucky I got to have the film screened for me last night, and it's honestly like I don't mean to embarrass you. You were so humble. This is in a tour de force performance and virtuoso directing. I'm setting the bar very high right now, so that kind of terrifies me. But in terms of my character, Jesse, for me, I think that this film is a cinematic poem for the underdog. And like I love what you said about illumination. I think Jesse is a character who also is accustomed to being rejected. She's incredibly empathetic and humble, and I think, you know, really excited about this idea of connecting with another human being. And quite giddy, and there were a lot of qualities that I saw in myself, sort of heightened qualities. She's a character that's very shy, so this idea of just making this connection with another human being, it's such a lovely, sweet scene that they have together, and that was why I wanted to do the film.
So one of the things, the photo that's been released has you basically doing a bodybuilding pose, and you've clearly worked out. And I'm curious, how much time did you have from getting the information, oh, we're going to start shooting, to saying, oh, I really got to hit the gym? And how did this film play into also Creed 3? Because you obviously had to train for that as well.
Yeah, so I guess that question is like, the invisible work began, I mean, right at the height of COVID, you said I got the script?
October 2020.
Yeah, so wherever we were in that, yeah, you know, and I was held up in New Mexico reading it. And that's the subconscious work, you know, but all of a sudden I start, yeah, that's a long time ago. Yeah, you know, to have that much runway, you know, and so subconsciously I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna do this bodybuilder film, you know, at some point in life, you know, I'm gonna be doing this. So I began to think about it, dream about it. At that point, I was shooting The Harder They Fall, right, and blah 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 blah. The question to Creed and Damien. Yeah, I was training the whole time. You know, it's Killian is the apex of Kang, Damien, Killian. That's the order they were shot. And so the process began, you know, that long ago for that. The training routine altered from role to role. The diet really changed to come Killian.
Can I just ask you real fast?
Yeah.
Were you an a-hole to be around when you were in full training mode because you couldn't eat anything, or were you able to like?
Okay, here it is. I was not an asshole. I got to be more myself, right? Because I am quite introverted. Don't really and love people. Love people. But all three of us, I think, you know, are very introverted. And so in bodybuilding, I found a role and an occupation that really allowed me to like really be myself. You know, I'm a Virgo, so aesthetics are important. You know what I mean? So I'm like, this is not a problem for me. You know what I mean? And it was the bodybuilding. It was all these things that connected me directly to the, you know, to the piece. And so I was very happy while I was shooting it, and I ate a lot. It works different ways for different people. Some people can't eat. Some people have to eat a lot. I had to eat a lot, and so I was probably most grumpy meal 6, 8:15, pacing around my apartment. You know what I mean? Like just fucking chicken, rice. You know, just like trying to get it down. I was very grumpy then, but after that, I was laughing.
Yeah, and we made sure we moved the schedule around his eating.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you don't want to schedule a scene when Jonathan's grumpy. That's not fun for anyone.
Okay.
So Elijah, a little bit of a jokey question, but your last film you had Timothée Chalamet before he blew up, and obviously for your second film you have Jonathan Majors. Do you think he has a career after your movie?
Jonathan, you know, maybe if he shaves that thing down on his face, and of course, I think Jonathan's probably the most interesting and exciting and talented actor in his generation right now, and I'm just lucky to have him. Really. Someone's throat is being cleared. Hi. Haley as well, but we were on the subject of Jonathan. Okay. I'll get to you next, Haley. A career and then some. I think he'll be. I think he can do anything you ask him to do, and I think, you know, any director who's lucky enough to work with him should be careful what they ask for, because they're going to get exactly that, and then maybe a little more, and hopefully the movie and the director can handle it, because he's going to give it to you. That's for sure.
For people that have not seen Cyrano, I'm going to talk about Haley for a second. Or recently,
Cyrano's wicked.
Cyrano's
is wicked.
Yeah, I love that movie, and you are so great in it. So, because I haven't seen Magazine Dreams yet, I can't talk about your performance. I'm just going to say, if you haven't seen Cyrano or recently Till, just to cite two recent things, you know, she's okay. She
wicked.
You know?
Yeah.
So I am curious about the making of the film, though, because this isn't a Marvel movie. You don't have some crazy budget. So how much time did you actually have for the shoot, and what ended up being the toughest part to pull off with the time and budget you had?
Yeah, that's a good question. We shot it in 24 days, which was, well, look, it doesn't sound like a lot, and it's not a lot, but hopefully some of that intensity and focus found its way onto the screen, because we had no choice but to work that way.
So many of the scenes are he's carrying the entire film. So I think it's like, when you have, it's an ensemble, but he carries this film, and I think that makes 24 days much more achievable. You probably disagree.
Yeah.
But you had a lot of locations.
We had a lot of locations, but it helps when you have one man to keep coming back to, and you're in it with him, and you're in the trenches with him. And we would shoot an entire day, and then on the ride home, as we're driving back, the phone would ring, and it'd be Jonathan, and we would talk about the next day's work. Because we didn't have enough time to do it other ways.
I know. But we think about this tomorrow. I'm talking about tomorrow's work. We think about this. And Bynum was just, yeah, bro. I think that we're literally workshopping. We shot it 24 days, 24/7.
But isn't that what you have to do when you have that kind of a schedule?
That's what you should do in general.
It's good to be immersed. It's good to be immersed like 24/7.
Yeah. I think if we had, I think the first budget we did, the line producer was like, this movie wants to be 45 days. And we couldn't afford to do it that way. But I do think if we had 45 days to do it, I don't know if the movie would have turned out the way it did.
There was an energy on set, like it felt, not many people have gone to a bodybuilding competition. You know what I mean? Like, not many people. I hadn't gone to any up until, go time. But it is intense. I mean, the energy is intense. I mean, the way we day one, the way we hit the set, we looked like bodybuilders. We were focused. It was, and the whole crew was like, "Oh, it's like that."
Feels very documentary.
Yes.
Style.
Yes.
Capturing real shit.
Yeah. From the human beings to the technology,
And you just think of the action of contracting muscle. It can only stay there for a few seconds, and then it burns out.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think there's something about that lends itself to the movie.
So for all three of you, and again, I don't know how much you're in the film, so but I'm curious, when you were looking at the 24-day schedule, for each of you, what was the day you had circled that said, oh, this is going to be a real day?
Ooh.
We had 11 pages. And
That was,
Yeah, that was big.
There's a scene they have together on a date. That's 11 pages of dialogue, and that was probably the one that we all lost a bit of sleep over. There was a few of them that kept us up at night, but that was probably the big one.
There were a few. I mean, every day, it was wartime every day, wasn't it? But there was for me, there was a moment of competition, right? Bodybuilder, he does competition. No spoilers here. That was the day, because I was training. I was doing the work. We were doing the work, and then there's a part that Bynum couldn't help me with, and I didn't have the wonderful Haley to be my scene partner. Is literally going in competition, the posing, the what they call drying, what we call drying out. All of that. Talk about crazy. If there was a moment where it was like, oh, I'm feeling crazy, was when I've pulled out all the water, and then this insane man wants me to run and
was that long shot, that incredibly long shot?
Those days were those days were intense, because the body was at a level where, like, you're only supposed to hold that for 3 hours, and he's supposed to go have a hamburger, but I couldn't, because the next day we're shooting after that is training. You know what I mean? So that day I had circled, because I was working with Bynum, I was working with my trainers, I was working with my nutritionist. Everybody was working. That was D-Day.
Yeah, first of all, I can't imagine doing that. And I don't think people realize, who watch movies, that when, like, for example, in like Top Gun Maverick, when they're doing that beach scene, like, they were training and specifically building up to get those shots. But like, when you're making a shot like that, you're training for that moment, and it's not like a natural thing. You have a team of people to help you achieve that look.
There's something to be said to what he said. I just don't know what the right response is. Like,
it's mostly you, but like, there's people to help you.
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I want you to get down and do 300 push-ups.
and she's gonna help you do it.
I'm working.
But
I'm
she's gonna count.
really, I'm helping you.
You caught what I was
ahead.
getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm I'm an
ahead,
a-hole.
achieve
They
the
don't let me do
impossible.
interviews too often, so this is one of those. I'm joking.
No, you're absolutely right. It takes a village to make the film, but and to get those shots. The beautiful thing about bodybuilding, and I sincerely mean it, is the isolation. Because no one can make you eat that food. I can look at a guy now, a bodybuilder, and go, I see where you cheated. I see where your integrity broke. Or I see how hurt you were. I can see that in somebody's body. You know what I mean? And nobody can aid you and shove that food down your throat or make you lift that weight. We had this thing that we would say on set. I would be humming to myself, big rep, big rep, big rep, big rep, which means this was it. This was going to take everything you had in this moment. And sometimes it was looking at that plate of food being like, okay, big rep, bro. Just get that down. Just get it down, get back to set, and go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And some of the food he was eating was not just offset. It was part of the scene.
Oh, yeah.
As we're rolling the camera.
Yeah.
And he would actually step away between takes and clean out.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm. Are you a fan of eating scenes on camera? Because I don't know if I can handle it.
I don't think anyone is.
Listen, I love all of it. You know what I mean? I love all of it.
Depends on what it is.
Yeah, it depends on what it is. Yeah.
Thumbtacks.
What? Yeah. Good. Swallow. Okay, let's talk about it. We can film. Yeah. I guess that's a. Yeah. I guess you don't want to eat everything.
No.
So the editing room. Let's talk about that real quick. It's ultimately where the film comes together, and I'm curious how this film changed in the editing room in ways you did not expect.
Not too much. I think. Well, I shouldn't say not too much, but we head into the editing room feeling like we had pretty good footage to work with. But once we got in there, we didn't look at the script ever again. I think by the time you get into the edit room, the script, it doesn't really matter much anymore because the footage is now what you're working with, and the footage should be the guide. And what we found early on was it's best to just sort of swim with the current and let the movie tell you what it wants to be. And we were lucky enough to have incredible performances across the board to choose from. So then it just became calibrating what we wanted. And there was a little bit of restructuring in the second half because certain scenes would take on a different meaning depending on where they were ordered in the movie. But it was a pretty smooth editing process, really. And then it just became about what music sounds best.
You're in the Sundance Film Festival, and one of the biggest in the world. Again, congratulations. When did you find out you were a part of it, and how long did you have to hold the secret?
I think I was called days before Thanksgiving. Someone from Sundance called me and told me we were in. I held the secret for about 15 seconds. Yeah, I called my mom and I let her know.
When did you guys find out? And were you able to not tell? You know what I mean? Did you have to hold it for a few weeks or?
I mean, I'm in good practice of keeping
Sure.
secrets around work, so I was just. It was like a gift, you know what I mean? You kind of just wanted to hold it, and we spoke about it, and that was a good, but I held it until I think it was announced. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm a terrible secret keeper. Like, anyone I ever buy a Christmas present for knows what it is before they open it on Christmas. I don't know why I wrap them anymore. I think I found out on a Friday, and then I told internally my family, my daughter, who's like, "What are you talking about?" And then I think I kept it a secret until it came out.
Question for the two of you.
But it was so unexpected. It was came out of nowhere, and I was like, "Wow, this is so great! That's incredible! Congratulations!" Yeah, not low expectations, but it's just you do a film and you kind of move on, you forget about it, and of course you don't because you're in the editing room making your magic. But for me, you're wiping mud off boots, and then you get a call, and you're like, the film you were a part of is going to Sundance.
I have an individual question for the two of you and an individual question for you. If you could get the financing to make anything you want, what would you make and why?
I have something I want to do next. I can't share it right now,
I understand.
but I have something in mind.
Is it something you wrote?
it will be something I've written.
Got it. I understand.
There is some source material, but it's based off something very old that I'm going to take a little bit from and adapt it here and there to make it fit the story I have in mind. And I do have an actor in mind for it. You might be able to guess who that is.
I'm not going to pressure you by saying the person's name who's sitting next to you. For the two of you, you guys have both done such great work, and I'm curious if someone hasn't seen something that if someone has not seen anything you've done before, what is the first thing you'd like them watching and why? And you can say this. I'm just curious if there's something.
My 8th grade choir performance, my talent show. No, I would definitely say Swallow, probably. Swallow came out during the pandemic, like right during the pandemic, so that was unfortunate. And yeah, I think that was difficult for the momentum and to find an audience. Yeah, that's it.
I don't really have an answer for that. You know, catch it, you catch it. I don't know. Why put something on? Anything? I don't know, man. They're all. It's all a long throw. You know, that is that.
Everything
is that.
connects
That
to.
is that.
Oh,
you know?
I know. I'd like to see my footage from Terrence Malick film. I would like
There
to
we
see
go.
it.
Yeah.
I would like to see
Which
it.
film? Which film was it?
A film that I was cut from.
He cuts everyone. Don't feel bad.
Yeah, it's interesting because, and I want to say, I forget who it was, but someone thought they were the lead in The Thin Red Line, went to the
I think it
premiere.
was Adrian
Brody.
Brody. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was
Pretty
Christopher
intimate
Plummer,
story.
wasn't it? No. Oh, that's a New World.
Two of us just gave the right answer,
Yeah.
And one of us didn't.
and you heard it clearly.
No, but seriously, like he thought he was the lead, and then he went to the premiere, and he was basically not in the movie.
I've been told to prepare myself. I've been told to prepare myself in regards to magazine dreams. So
You're no longer in the movie. I hate to break it to you now on Collider, but
Right. I'm not worried, Jonathan. I definitely have to ask you. You know, I'm a fan of these Marvel films, and I'm just curious. I know you're not going to tell me anything about the future, but what is it like being part of a universe where you are going to be such a central character for the next few years? Like, A, it's a guaranteed gig, but B, it is like, I mean, you're a very big focus, and I'm just curious what it's like for you. Are you excited by it? Is it,
well, it's funny, man. We were coming in here and a bunch of guys who like some movies and a lot of them like the MCU movies. It's exciting the fact that think about theater, right? You do a play, you have no idea if someone's coming to that show. Yeah, man, you work your ass off. You have no idea, like, okay, the tickets don't really matter. You're not really checking. It's a different ecosystem. You're hoping people are going to come see the work you've done in that space, in that black box for that long, right? You're hoping it's going to happen. With the MCU, and with Kang, there is such a beautiful sensation knowing that the work that myself and my collaborators do is going to reach people. That responsibility is something I honor and something I really take on. There's 50 guys outside. All 50 those guys are gonna see, Quantumania. You know what I mean? That's beautiful. You know what I mean? Like that, a guaranteed impact. Is something that you go, okay, yeah. And go ahead.
But no, I was going to say one of the things, though, and I could be wrong, is that you're playing the same character, but it could be versions of the same character. So you're not possibly the same. I don't know, actually.
I mean, as an actor, like no spoilers here. Like Kang has, we can take it there. But Kang has variants. You know what I mean? There's always variants. I'm Kang, so whatever comes through. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's neat.
Well, one of the things though, and like people don't really talk about it, but like a movie like this, Magazine Dreams, there's going to be people that are Marvel fans that are going to seek this movie out specifically because they've seen you in a Marvel movie and they want to see, or someone saw you in Till or Swallow and said, "Oh, I want to see her next movie." So, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, that's obviously not a reason you cast Jonathan, but it's an added benefit that more people will see it.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt at all. It really, but it's great because I think it will bring more eyeballs to a movie that otherwise might not have been seen. With that said, it is not the reason I cast either of them. I cast them because I think they were just perfect for the roles that we wrote, and I think they embodied the spirit of the character, and they're actors I had been wanting to work with and was grateful to work with. And the fact that they now have like these big franchises that are bringing attention to them, all the better. But I
mean, that's the beauty
that's not
about
where it came from.
That's the beauty about Sundance, about independent film, and about I mean, what you and I do as being in front of the camera. You know that like having either one of us in the film at whatever point in our career then brings people to a different type of story. You know what I mean? That's beautiful. That then helps us tell similar stories, like a magazine dream. From other points of view, other vantage points. If you get folks, that have, I mean, it's also a different muscle, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, the speed of it is different. You know what I mean? The intensity of it can be different. Unless you hold it steady. But yeah, that's. I'm rambling, but it's Yes, I am rambling.
No, it's true. You have infinite amount of days making a Marvel film, and you have 24 days to make Magazine Dreams and 18 days to make Swallow. Like, it's a different beat. It's all beautiful.
I'm curious for the two of you, from when you first started, when you first stepped on a film set, I'm sure you prepared a certain way, and now that you've done a number of roles, I'm curious, how have you changed when you're on a set and you're doing a role from when you first started, or do you have a very similar process and way of doing things?
Well, I think I just got more. You grow up, and I don't use this as a specific acting technique or any of that stuff. I read acting books constantly. That's a fact. But
is there one specifically that you want to point out?
No,
or just all?
I read them all. I read them all. But then you realize, for me, it went from like, I have a way of living, and I went to these schools, and I have a point of view on acting, right? And that's what I'm doing. And then that point of view it's more of a lifestyle. It's like, there's an approach. I think I now have more outward confidence. I had the internal confidence starting out, but now there's more outward confidence to hold the line and create the space around me. That the world of the play and the world of the character now expands further than me, and that if I can make it go from here to 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 the world, to the whole, if everybody, like, this is the thing, you know what I mean? It actually is funny. It actually devolves from acting. It just becomes living. And so that I mean, and a lot of that happened in drama school. You know what I mean? By the time I hit Mr. Gus Van Sant, we were that was already kind of percolating. So as I matured, it just became, don't be afraid of the thing that's already there. Lean into that.
Yeah, I think confidence, confidence building, experience, working with incredible actors that teach you a lot, working with incredible directors, and then also like understanding the nature within to lend to characters, and less thinking, I think, and more being, less acting and more living, and then I think it's about these kind of great myths. I don't know, I was making a film recently, and it's like archetypical journeys, and I think that's what you mean, is like, what is the greater universal truth of the character, and how can I tap into those truths in myself to be a to be to contribute to be in service of not just the character but the story, so that the audience can find their truths within that, and hold the character within themselves.
I really want to thank you for your work in general, and just because I really enjoy watching the two of you on screen. I am so looking forward to seeing your movie. I want to thank the three of you for coming in, and a huge thank you again to Sarasota, because Saratoga, I said it wrong and I'm sorry, I apologize, but I really want to give a huge thank you to them. And listen, thank you so much for coming in, and I really hope you have a fantastic Sundance.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Appreciate
brother.
it.
Good to see you.